Hello, today we're going to take some notes on lesson 6. It's an extension of the lesson from class today. So in your notes, you can draw in your Cornell boxes so that you have a space for a summary and you have a place for big ideas. And then you can title your notes Unit 3, Lesson 6, and we are going to find slope in 2 ways today. This first image here, if you want to pause the video so that you can copy down each of these 3 boxes, the first way we're going to find the slope is given 2 points. Then we're also going to find the slope from a graph, and this third one is just so that you remember that M means slope, and that's how it moves up or down, the rise, or it moves left to right, the run. Example 1, this video comes to you in 3 examples. First example, what is the slope of the line that passes through the points 2, 8 and 5, 8? And this type of slope is when you use 2 points. If you're given 2 points, not only can you find the slope, but you can write an equation of the line, which is exactly what we want to do today. So we're going to use this formula. In previous lessons, I was able to write in like P2 minus P1 over R2 minus R1, and that's the engaged New York way. And it makes sense, but in traditional Algebra 1 textbooks, you're going to see this formula more. I actually may, if I'm in a rush, I'm probably going to use this formula and reference this formula more than everything. So red and green are not great colors because sometimes people can't see them, but this is Y1 and this one is Y2. Oh, 2, 8 and 5, 8. That's not a very good example. And then this is x1 and this is x2. So when we plug it into this equation, we are going to use our code here to figure it out. So m is equal to, we have y2, which is 8, minus y1, which is 8. And then we are going to divide it by x2, which is 5, and x1, which is 2. So we're actually going to end up getting 0 over 3. And 0 over anything, 0 divided by anything, is just equal to 0. It gets tricky if we divide by 0. That's when things get undefined. Okay, that's the first way. Second part of this video, we're going to find the slope given a graph. And there's 2 ways you can do this. There's the first way where we can write down our points. Say, for example, this is 0, 2, and then this point is 1, negative 2. And we can do the same thing we did previously, which was use the formula, and we can plug in our formula. Or we can do it this way, where we are going to start at this point. Doesn't matter which point we start at, and we need to get to this point. To get there, we're going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4 units. Rise over run. So we're going to go down 4 units. That's why there's that negative. And then we're going to go over 1 unit. So our slope is just equal to negative 4. If you're given a graph and if the points are clearly labeled, maybe you can write this in your notes too, even though I'm not writing it down. If the points are clearly labeled on the graph, then just count the rise and runs for the slope. Okay. The third part of this video, we're going to talk about this beautiful thing called slope-intercept form. And slope-intercept form is quintessential Algebra 1 material. You will never leave an Algebra 1 class without talking about slope-intercept form. And what this does is this has you create slope-intercept form is an equation. What else is it? Well, it's also a line. So there's also a picture that goes with it. Whenever you're given an equation, there's a line that goes with it. They're the same. They're just represented in 2 ways. What else was I going to say? Oh yeah, Slope-intercept form is great because in its name you need two things. You need the slope, which is m, which is what we calculated previously, and you need the intercept. The intercept is this guy right here. It's the y-intercept. Not only is it any intercept, but it's the y-intercept. And what you need to write down in your notes is you need to write down that y-intercepts always have x value equals 0. And it makes sense because if you look at where the y-intercept, intercept means where it crosses with the y-axis. If you look at this part, the x value is always 0 because it has to hit the y-axis. And what value of x is the y-axis? Well, that value of x is always 0. So your y-intercept is always going to look in the form of 0, b, or 0, whatever number. It can be positive or negative. So what we're going to do is we are going to take a table of information, which is the third way we can find our slope, and we are going to make an equation, which is a big deal in my book. If you can take data from a graph or some numbers or data in a table and make an equation, that's excellent. Okay, so write an equation of the line from the table of data points below. We are going to write it in this form, y equals mx plus b. When we do this, our equation is going to have a y in it, and our equation is going to have an x in it. The only things that change are these numbers, m and b. Okay, b is going to be our y-intercept, like there's a 3 here. And then 2 was the slope in this case, so they changed the 2. So identify the y-intercept. The y-intercept, it's when x is equal to 0. So go look at the table and go figure out when does x equal 0, right here. 0, 2. This is the y-intercept. If you need to pause this video to write down the table and then draw on a grid because we're also going to graph this, you can do so now. When x is 0, so the y-intercept, watch how I abbreviate this. I'll do this a lot, y-intercept like that, and then I'll just write the coordinate point. Or sometimes I'll write it like this, y-intercept equals 2, and I'll just include the y value. Okay, B, choose another coordinate point from the table. Okay, I will. Whoa, let me see if I can move this. 1, 3.5. Okay, write the equation of the line formed by the points on the table in y equals mx plus b form, slope-intercept form, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. Oh no, well, how are we going to do this? Because I don't know the slope. Oh wait, I have a formula. M is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I have 2 points here. I'm going to use my y-intercept point, and I'm going to use the point I just chose from the table. So y2, I'll do 3.5 minus 2 over x2, 1 minus 0. So I get 1.5 divided by 1, which is just equal to 1.5. Anything divided by 1 is that anything. It's part of the identity property. Okay, so our slope is equal to 1.5. It's a decimal. That's okay. A lot of slopes are decimals and fractions, actually. All right. Oh, yeah. I have to write the equation. So y equals mx. Whoa. Should I do? Maybe I'll go back to blue. Mx plus b. So we have our m value, 1.5. And our b value was 2. My y-intercept was 2. So to write my equation, I'm just going to, I need an equal sign, equations and equal signs. I'm going to leave a y in my equation. I'm going to leave an x in my equation. And I'm going to fill in my slope and my intercept. And this beautiful thing is the equation of all these data points. So now we're going to graph the line of the equation that we drew. So to graph the line, I'm going to look at the table of values. So I'm going to plot all of them. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That works. We'll do every other one is a whole number. I'm scaling my y values. And I'm also scaling my x values. Okay, let's do negative 1.5. So I'm going to go in the negative 1 direction and go up. And for good measure, I should probably negative 1, 0.5, label it. Then I'm going to do 0, 2. Then I'm going to do 1, 3.5, 1, 2, 3.5. This is 3.5 here. And 2, 5. I'm going to tell you now, it is really hard for me to draw this straight line. So just imagine it right now. This is really hard because I have to look at my screen and not the tablet I'm actually writing on. Okay, there's my straight line. Now, what I did to graph this was all I did was graph the points. But if you actually count the rise over the run, you should get 1.5 up and 1 over. 1.5 up and 1 over for every line. So what I actually like to do is sometimes I'll write y is equal to 1.5x plus 2. I'll write the equation of the line right along the line as well, so I know that there's a connection. Okay, we covered, that was the end of the third part. Bonus, there's actually a fourth part where you write your summary, but you don't have to listen to me talk about that. So your summary can include the 3 things that we covered, or you can put those 3 things in your big ideas, and then what are you taking away from this video? What did you learn, or what did you review? And you can write that in your summary and bring that to class tomorrow, because this is what we're going to do tomorrow. Goodbye.